problem with it. I promise you that shit.
Listen to the words. Garbage, a joke, clown acts, pisses me off. No, come find me. No, come find me. Listen to the words. Come find me. Garbage, a joke, clown acts, pisses me off.
I ain't a hard guy to find. I promise you that shit.
Listen to the words. Garbage, a joke, clown acts, pisses me off. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into NBR, as we like to call it, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I am oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I am hot about. Welcome in freaking game week. Woo! Game week, slapping mics, getting ready to rock. You know I had caffeine. You know I'm rocking. You know I'm just out here getting ready for Saturday. We will be in Atlanta, rather. BMW Players Lounge, Classic City Collective, pregame, tailgate. Your boy will be out there, live show. You can come see me. If you got a ticket, if you didn't, snoozing, you're losing. All right. But it is game week. All right. As I've said 4 or 5 times, we've got a great show for you tonight. We will give you bold predictions, as is the title of the show. Sorry, I'm getting thrown off here already. Jamie Goodman already off the top rope. I said today on Twitter, just before we started, hey, we're going to have some giveaways tonight. I know it. It's season time. You know, people be getting the vibes. Maybe Jamie, maybe Unk, as we call him in the community. Maybe Unk done tipped me off on this one. I'm matching every donation tonight up to 40. So that's already 10. Okay, so 30 more free donations. Free subs, as we call them around here. That's already 10. So that is 10 people that are watching tonight. If you are already not, or you are not already subscribed to the Patreon, feel free to do so. And someone else just dumped another hundo. Malik, that's just weird. All right, that's enough for that. We'll call that off for the next like 20, 30 minutes. All right. Those are 20 free subs. So right now, run. Don't walk, run to whatever direct message, however you can get to me. My email, I will leave in the chat box, okay? In the comments or in the description of this video. I turned my direct messages off for a reason. I didn't want my things to get hacked, okay? So I will leave my email in the YouTube comments of this. First, now 20 people to come get them. And then I'll tweet out another 20 later. So we're good on the free subs, guys. That's enough. That's plenty. That took all of 3 minutes. So now we can get the show going. Jesus. That was a lot. That was a lot really, really quickly. Flabbergasted. That kind of tells you what some people think of the community. They love it. So we don't want to hold you off. If you feel free to do so, but we can only give away so many. So here we go. Let's get into the show now. Woo, good Lord. I thought it was really interesting to hear Kirby Smart today talk about all that it is that he knows about this Oregon football team, right? And we are going to get into it this week. We've already done a little bit of film study about Noah Sewell and Justin Flo over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. So if you haven't watched that, feel free to join us over there and take a look at it. It's some really, really good stuff. And we kind of know who they are personnel-wise. But as a football guy, as a film guy, right, you kind of wonder, hey, how do you prepare for a football team that is going to be completely different than what it is that you're going to have available on tape? As you know, or maybe you don't, coaches exchange tape, right? I give you clips, you give me, I give you games, you give me games, right? We can either agree to go last 2 or we can agree to go to last 4. NFL, it's all available, right? You obviously have all the film. Some colleges, maybe it's like that. But as far as I know, it is an exchange of last 4 games, all 22 type stuff, right? So when you exchange film, what are you exchanging? Oregon is exchanging the last couple of games of them doing whatever it was that they were doing under Cristobal. Okay, so there's some transition. How do you prepare for an offensive coordinator in Kenny Dillingham that you don't really know much about, right? Everywhere he's been, he's kind of been, the understudy, right? His first year as an offensive coordinator at Auburn, right? He was not the play caller in 2019. That was Gus Malzone, right? His years at Memphis, he was not the play caller under Mike Norvell. No, that was Mike Norvell's office. Mike Norvell's an offensive guy, right? Okay, but he is an OC. Okay, he was an OC. He was getting credit or was helping and was fully responsible, you would imagine, for play design, maybe not play calling, right? Same thing at Florida State, not a full representation of what he might be as an offensive coordinator. So how do you prepare for someone that's never really called plays and is at a new environment with an entirely new personnel? And here's what I will tell you. If you have watched our network here, right, I get the number one comment that you guys know that ticks me off is when we are doing what to expect episodes, right? And we are showing you film from whether it be last year or whether it be from a previous school where that coordinator was. The number one comment I always get is, why are we watching last year's film? Or why are we watching film against somebody else? Or why are we watching this film? Or why this, why that, why that? Why are we watching film from a different school? And I have to explain every time, offensive coordinators are humans, no different than you and I. Okay, I go sock, shoe, shoe. I found out the other day somebody in this world goes sock, shoe, right? So everyone's got a process, just like offensive coordinators do, just like coordinators do as humans. So when you go to study Kenny Dillingham, you'll do it like we do it. Georgia will do it like we do it on the Film Guy Network, which is this way. You probably don't go as back as far as Memphis, right? But you definitely go to Auburn, where he was working with the offensive or the quarterback that he's got now, right? And you study what it is that they were doing. And you certainly study that Florida State film where he's got a guy in Jordan Travis that emulates what Bo Nix does, right? You certainly study that. And I'll tell you right now, and here's a prime example of coordinators taking something that they learned or imprinted on them, right? Something that imprinted upon them and applied it to their next school or their next stop or their next job, right? Kenny Dillingham at Auburn with Bo Nix, right? What is Gus Malzone most known for? In my opinion, as an offensive coordinator, it's what I would just deem and explain as chaos, right? When you watch Gus Malzahn, pardon my language, but shit is crazy. I mean, there's people lined up everywhere. There's motions everywhere. They play with pace, right? They run the ball a lot, but it's QBs involved, all this stuff. But the main thing you think about when you game plan and you study down, distance, formation, and personnel of a Gus Malzahn offense, the first thing that comes to mind is chaos. So you go look through the Florida State films where Kenny Dillingham is not the play caller, but he certainly is involved in play design, like we were telling you. And the first film you turn on for me was them against Miami last year. Okay, we will watch it over on Patreon. Okay, very soon, probably tomorrow. Okay, the very first film I turn on against Florida State, here he is, red zone. What do? They run mush huddle. What is mush huddle? Mush huddle is where for the first time all game, they huddle up and then boom, they break and scatter to the ball, get on the ball, downset hut, snap it, right? Who does that crap? Auburn for years under Gus Malzahn. Well, here is this offensive coordinator who had no responsibilities as a play caller. 2-3 years later down the road at a different establishment under a different head coach, completely separate from the guy who taught him this concept and ideology of chaos. And he's applying the concepts elsewhere. Again, prime example of just offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, they're humans. So even though you don't know much about what Kenny Dillingham is going to do down in and down out, that's okay. Like Kirby Smart said today, that's all about execution. Hey, you still got to get in your gap, get in your assignment and play your gap and be sound, right? That's how you handle in-game adjustments and figuring things out on the fly. There will be plenty of adjustments second, third, fourth quarter in this football game from this Georgia staff. But when you try to figure out, hey, we've got to identify at least some semblance of who we are game planning for, you go study who it is that has imprinted upon these people and these individuals. And for Kenny Dillingham, as Gus Malzahn, a lot, okay? And it's Mike Norvell. Okay, Mike Norvell is a creative, in my opinion, from studying him, a very creative run scheme guy. Just like Kenny Dillingham, in my opinion, a very creative run scheme guy. So get ready for quarterback run, get ready for quarterback draw, get ready for all that good stuff, and get ready for us to break it down tomorrow on the Film Guy Network over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. As far as the defense goes, hey, here's the great thing about the University of Georgia being coached by basically the inventor of the 4-2-5 mint, especially as long as Glenn Schumann's there. These guys revitalized the idea of playing nickel defense and how to play nickel defense out of a 4-2-5 odd front. Very, very hard to do on a visual medium, but if you know football right now, I'm really speaking to you right now. I mean, you're vibrating in your seat, excited, okay? The University of Georgia under Kirby Smart in 2017 basically created the 4-2-5 mint front defense, where you got a true nose out of a 4 down front, 2 linebackers, 5 DBs, Okay. What it allowed them to do is jack up all kind of offensive line personnel groupings, all kind of offensive line combination blocks. It ruined inside zone scheme against the University of Georgia and then Alabama, right? For about 3 or 4 years before teams started figuring it out, right? It's also a long macro discussion, but to break it down, 4-2-5 mint was also created to stop the RPO, or at least give it some problems, okay? Also remove 2 high safeties. Long discussion. But the good news is your guy, Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann, helped invent it at Alabama, brought it and revamped it at Georgia. So what does that mean? That means every Bama guy that's ever out there, that means Cristobal, that means every bit of Kirby's tree, that means all of them, every one of them Saban jokers that is counted under the Saban tree, I guarantee you go watch it right now, you look at it, they're running 4-2-5. They are. Cristobal was running 4-2-5 last year. I don't care what it was listed as. You turn the tape on, which I have. They are 4 down, 2 backer, 5 DBs. They're playing zone. They're playing man. It doesn't matter. You can only play so much stuff. Okay. But the down 6, the stuff that really confuses blocks, your guy invented them. They got them. They got all the keys, the stuff that gives all the 4-2-5 defenses, which, by the way, also turn on high school football. Everybody's running the crap. Okay. So they're all running the same defenses, and your guy invented it. So whatever the turnover is, and one of your guys that helped you revamp it, and Dan Lanning, is now over there too. So what secrets does he have? What defense is he going to bring out there that you don't know about? Nothing, right? That's a significant advantage, right? A significant advantage that, I mean, we'll talk about it on this network because we know it, right? We know the ball. But look at it, man. It's Oregon. It's Tennessee under Pruitt, right? They're gone now. Obviously, that whole staff is wiped. It's down there at Florida. They'll run the 4-2-5 under Napier. It's every single Saban guy will run the same 4-2-5 nickel-based defense. And your guy invented it. You got the keys every single time you go play it, right? So that's an offensive advantage, right? Obviously, Monken has his long history as a breakdown. So when you hear Kirby today, to me, he sounded extremely confident in his identification of who they are, right? The Bo Nix comment aside, go listen to his tone about noticing like what it is that they do, right? Knowing it is who they are, right? Who to study, who are they preparing for? Well, and it all boiled down to the coach speaker. We just got to execute. But I saw a guy that was extremely confident in preparing his team for something that nobody really knows what they're going to do. But in my opinion, here it is. We're going to show you this on film on the Patreon this week. I guarantee you see a bunch of orbit motion. I guarantee you see a bunch of quarterback counter read. I guarantee you see a bunch of quarterback read option. I guarantee you everything ends in an RPO. If you want to come see what any of that means, if you're confused or bamboozled, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. We'll talk to you like you're a kindergartner over there. Today, we don't have time. I drank too much coffee, and we got too many topics. But okay, that's kind of that was my brief takeaway. We're going to get into more game-specific shows. Today's more season-specific to end. But that's kind of my opening rant, if you will. I think it's funny how, we have a process, right? When we bring you what to expect episodes, there are things in there that are there for a reason, right? And they may look funny, and you might not be able to understand why they're there. And then you look up on Saturday and you're able to look at your TV screen and you go, hey guys, everyone in the room, they're about to run quarterback draw. Watch this. And then it happens and everybody in the room's like, whoa, how are you so smart? And the cool ones, the nice folks, okay, over there at the Patreon or on the Patreon family, the Film Guy fam, they'll give credit. Well, I watched this Brooks Austin guy, but buddies like my guy, Jake, he's just going to take credit. He's just going to try to be the smartest guy in the room off the film study that we bring you. So come be the smartest guy in the room, wherever your room is, especially in the stadium. You can hear a lot of dumb takes in the stadium. Okay, you'll never be next to a dumber football fan probably than inside of a football stadium because they can't really see what's going on. This is like all mess in front of them. So whatever they're complaining about is probably the wrong thing. But you might be able to see if you come check us out, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. I'm going to spend about an hour watching that offensive line because another thing, talk about offensive transitions, right? If you go back and watch them last year, they were super counter, pin, pull heavy, like dependent upon athletic offensive linemen. Well, 4 of those 5 starters are back. The fifth one, he played in like 12 or 14 games and played a lot. So they are, as one source put it to me, a big physical experienced unit. Okay. More coach speak for you, but that's what it is. They are a big physical, athletic experience unit. I added athletic because that's my personal opinion. When I go watch these jokers, they can bend, they can move, they can get out in space, they can unzip their feet, they can put them in a parking spot. Okay. If you want to go watch it, again, I'm going to keep selling it, guys. It's season time. If you are sleeping, if you are not paying attention, if you are not in the subs, you need to get in the subs. Okay. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Last time I sell it, probably not. Caffeine Delta 8 for this one. Lots of info. A lot of caffeine in me today. I don't like to, as we've told you, the Gramco stuff, Gramco promo code Brooks 25 gets you 25% off. The Gramco Delta 8 and THC are, the good stuff. For me, is much more of a post show for me. I'm way too much caffeine before the show. I can't sit here and give takes for an hour without being just like way up there. I ain't trying to be mellow. I'm trying to be hyped, son. It's game week. Game week. Shout out. Let's talk about bold predictions. Okay. A lot of hot takes. This is NBR. This is topics where these are not hot takes, but rather takes we're hot about. All that good stuff as I throw stuff all over my desk. But I do have some hot takes for you. Okay. And we'll start with the quarterback. I think we're going to go offense, defense, offense. Okay. We'll close with offense tonight. And depending upon where we are and how much I rant on each one of these topics, we'll kind of indicate how much we, take your hot takes. We are going to open those. Okay. I want to get some of you guys' hot takes. Not super hot. I did see one good one earlier that I told him to hold off on. I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was in the pre-show lounge or the pre-show lobby in the chats. Great take. It's just in my notes. So it's going to feel like I stole it from you. I didn't. Okay. Here we go. Let's start with that one. Okay. I'm going to go. No, I'm not going to scroll all the way back up there and get it. But here we go. Okay. Number one bold prediction, if you will. Last year, Georgia outscored opponents by 28.6 points per game. Okay. They scored 38.6, and they gave up 10.2. I think it was. Either way, it's like 28 points. Okay. They beat teams by 4 touchdowns last year. I think this year, based on the schedule, they will outscore opponents by a higher margin in the regular season. That's the bold prediction. That's the bold headline, right? But here's the deal. Okay. This schedule, it's boo-boo. Now, I know we said this last year. Arkansas turned out to be a good football game, or at least ranked a good football game, right? Game day showed up for that 12 o'clock joker. I mean, good Lord. Okay, so last year we said the same thing. We said Clemson, get past them, cakewalk the regular season. That's kind of how it worked out. This year, they're 17.5-point favorites to open up. Let's say they just cover. Okay, let's just say they cover. I see a 56-0 at home against Sanford, don't you? I mean, we can double down on that against Vandy at the end of the season and Tech. So let's just say Vandy, Sanford, and Tech. Oh, and Kent State. They beat by an average of 50 points, right? Let's just say that off rip. Okay, they beat those 4 teams by an average of 50 points. That is very, very doable. How much of them hands do you think Missouri's going to get this year? Okay, I don't care if it's in Columbia. I don't care. Auburn, yeah. All right, Auburn, October 8th. Have you seen that Auburn schedule? It's always bad, but good luck. Okay. So Florida, I think that opened at an 11.5-point spread. Okay. If you dub up a couple of these SEC teams by 21 points, you've already covered your 28 points up to your 30 points per game that I think they're going to beat teams by based on this schedule. Okay. All that being said, another bold prediction for you. I've been on 6, 7, half dozen, 2 dozen podcasts at this point, pre-reviewing the season. If you want my season prediction, this is really going to miss some good people here. This is really going to make you mad. 12-0, 18-point loss, SEC championship game to Alabama. That has been the prediction on every show, and it will continue to be that the rest of the season. This regular season, apart from maybe Tennessee, apart from maybe, like, people are telling me Mississippi State on the road is a tough game because of cowbells. Come on, dog. It's not that, okay? Lexington, not that tough of a place to play, okay? But the regular season walked. I think 12-0, and you figure out who you are in a 4-quarter football game against Alabama. But apart from that, the rest of the schedule, to me, and I know if this is rat poison, if any coaches listen to me right now, they're probably mad as hell that I'm even saying this. That schedule walk through. You're gonna the closest spread right now is 9.5 points on the road at Mississippi State, which is a game I think you win by 18, 21 points. Okay. People like, oh, well, Mississippi State played great. They only lost. Georgia had to have 400 yards passing, and Mississippi State limited against the run. Okay, first of all, they got absolutely mollywopped up front running the football because Mississippi State was blitzing 8, playing single, like cover 0, playing like big boy ball. We're just going to send house and doing all kinds of crazy stunts and stuff up front that they weren't quite prepared for. Great game plan defensively for Mississippi State. Tip your hat. Okay, on the other end, Will Rogers played the game of his life. I think he completed 78% of balls that night. All right, so everything went their way that night, and they still lost. Okay, I think Georgia goes out there with a different game plan this year. So that's kind of my bold prediction off the top. Georgia's average margin of victory will be higher this year, despite the fact that they are not going to be a better football team. How can they be, right? They were historic last year. Or can they be 90% of what they were last year? Yeah. 100% they can. Is that enough to win a national title this year? I also think that, yeah, because if you walk through the regular season like you're supposed to, and let's say you are an 18-point loss against Alabama, it doesn't matter. You're a 4 seed or you're a 3 seed, okay, to avoid the repeat matchup against Bama, likely in the college football playoff, and then you get whoever, Ohio State out of the Big Ten. Go see what happens in the college football playoff. That's the way I see this season shaking out here right now, August 29th. That may completely change midway through the season, okay? Especially our outlook on the schedule. The schedule, again, last year this time was like, man, that's dog food. That's a bad schedule when you're looking up at it to start the season. All right, so bold prediction number 2. Stetson Bennett throws for 3,500 yards. Now, if you're an Ohio State fan or a Bama fan watching this tonight, first of all, how you doing? Welcome, all right? What are you doing? I should say instead of how you doing. What are you doing? Okay. If you're listening to this tonight, you're probably like 3,500 yards. Pfft, come on, dude. What are we talking about? The backup? Because 3,500 yard seasons at Ohio State are like 6th in the last 5 or 6th in the last 10 years. And at Bama, they might finish you like Jalen Hurts. Okay. So if you're listening to this at either of those programs, you're probably like, wow, this got really hot take here, 3,500 yards. But if you're a Georgia fan, that puts you second on the record books in terms of single season yardage. That's no joke. I think number 1 is Eric Zier with like 3,900 yards. Okay. Number 2 is Aaron Murray with like a 35, 39 yard season. Okay. Not a lot. Okay. If he gets 3,500 yards, like Jonathan Williams says right here, he just might break Murray's career passing yards record, which I believe is 13,000 yards. Y'all are going to be shocked. The dude's going to leave college with like 25, 30 starts. Okay. Maybe more. Super senior. Shouts out to COVID. So he's going to play a long time, and his name's going to be in a lot of spots on that record book at the University of Georgia. That being said, the 3,500 yard season will be the highest. I mean, Jake Fromm was year in, year out, 2,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That was 11's career for 3 years. That's it. Kind of been the same thing for Stet. Stet's been like a 2,400 yard guy. I think that's what he was last year. So drastic increase, but I think they're going to need it, right? Believe it or not, I did tell you they're going to walk through the schedule, but there are some offenses on that schedule that might actually put up some points, okay? Meaning Georgia's going to have to put up some points, and I think they certainly can, okay? I think they certainly can. All right, next one. Now, this one might venture into a hot take. This is me, a lot of people play to their base. They placate to their base, okay? I try not to be one of those people. I try to be one of these people that just tell you like it is. Okay. So I believe this with like 85% of me, but because this community loves this individual so much, I'm going to do it. Chaz Chambliss will lead the University of Georgia in sacks this year. Okay. And hear me out for 2 reasons. You ready? 1, a lot of sacks are effort things, right? Just pursuing the hell out of the quarterback. If you can pursue like your hair is on fire, okay, you can rack up them sacks. All right. You can absolutely get after the cue if you play to the echo of the whistle. Okay. Period. Point blank. I don't think if you pay attention or if you know anything about the University of Georgia, if you're talking to anybody, if you're one of these quote insiders, you can't talk to 5 people in that building without hearing Chaz Chambliss is a psycho when it comes to effort. So that being said, you put the Joker on the field, Give him enough opportunities, he's going to get home. Okay? That's rule number one. Rule number two, here's a theory for you. Robert Beal, ever heard of him? That dude led the team in sacks last year. So this off the wall with a team that y'all are Georgia fans. Y'all get it. Y'all know how many people you had on the roster last year. Robert Beal led that team in sacks. So for the same reason, okay, when you're up 28-0 in midway through the second quarter and they pull Nolan for the game and they're probably flirting with pulling Robert Beal, guess who's ready to roll, baby? Chaz Chambliss out there eating up them opportunities with a whole hell of a lot of effort. So y'all already know this. Georgia is very much so a team-oriented pass rush. We've talked about this on this channel forever. They don't dial up specific blitzes or specific rushes for one individual. They haven't since probably Adam Anderson was like available. Okay. They used to give that guy one-on-one speed rushes, make teams slide away from him. If you really know what you're looking for. Okay. Azeez, they would just let that guy do whatever it took to get to the queue because they knew he could rack up sacks again in the play action game. They didn't really have to design blitzes for him. If you go back and look at a lot of Azeez Ojulari's sacks, and even now in the NFL, he's an effort sack guy, but he's also a block shed sack guy. So when he's converting run to pass in the play action, that's when he ends up with a lot of sacks. If you go back and watch that Auburn game in 2020, Azeez has like 2 of those. That's essentially what it is. Bo Nix is play action, and then boom, he's swallowed up by Azeez because Azeez ripped the tackle down on his face. I don't know how I got there. Chaz Chambliss, effort guy, team leading sacks, bold prediction. Bold prediction number 2, talk about team leaders here in terms of statistical production. Javon Bullard will lead the team in turnovers forced. Also, here's a little for you. He's going to play a lot. Obviously, I told you he's going to lead the team in turnovers. Ball hawk, playmaker. I've compared him to Honey Badger forever. It's going to catch on. And I want you to give me credit because it was said here first. Okay? Javon Bullard is Honey Badger reincarnated. We've said that on the channel forever. It's been in the Twitter feed forever. Okay? Javon Bullard, Honey Badger, wearing the deuces. Watch him. He's 5'9". He's going to light everybody the frick up. He's going to dart across your screen so many times on Saturday, you're going to have to rewind your television. We call those flash plays. He is the definition of a flash player. All right. 22 is going to wreak havoc on ball production. He's going to force fumbles, stripping the ball out, and he's going to get the ball picked off in the air. I promise you right now, Javon Bullard, 22, watch him. Turnover production rate this year will be the highest on the team. All right. Another one. This isn't really bold. In fact, this is the opposite of bold. This is just, I got to get it in because it's going to happen. And that is the fact that Georgia will have 2 freshmen All-American this year. You already know one, Michael Williams. Y'all are there. Okay, Malachi Starks is the other one. Malachi Starks, I think by the middle of the year, will have that entire back end like down. Okay, like down. And, you know, I'll tell you a story. And this isn't exactly what's going on, but I know that they think this dude is special in Malachi. And I think that they also know that athletically, he's what we call a 1%er. There is nobody in this planet that pound for pound is more athletically gifted than Malachi Starks. There isn't. Not anybody in that building, not even the Nicholas Harbor guy. He's a freak. He is absolutely a freak. If you really spread him out, if you gave a metric score on every single athletic metric you could apply to both of those athletes, pound for pound, Malachi Starks is 98% of what Nicholas Harbor is, the 6'5", 10'3" guy. Okay, 10'1", or I think he's a 10'2" guy. Nonetheless, Malachi Starks is going to be an All-American by the end of the year. And here's what I will compare him to. Okay, there was Justin Miller, shouts out. The train with Jay on Twitter. Anyways, Justin Miller trains DBs here in Atlanta. And last year and this year, he puts on, I think, what he calls the Elite 15. Essentially, he invites all the top DBs in Atlanta to a stadium here in Atlanta, and they put on a camp, right? Go do some one-on-ones, showcase some things like that. And he always brings out pro guys, okay? And the pro guys help him out. One of which is Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey played at Alabama with a guy named Minkah Fitzpatrick. Okay, he described Minkah and Nick Saban's relationship as father and son and explained it as like he had never really seen anything like it. Okay, couldn't really quantify it. In fact, it was the closest relationship to Saban that he's ever seen any player have. And from what I've heard of the University of Alabama, it remains this way to this day. Okay, Saban is very, very open with all of his players. He's different towards Minkah, and everybody knows. Okay, I think by the end of Malachi Starks' career, he just might be that type of football player to Kirby Smart, because this is perhaps the first one. Okay, this is perhaps the first combination of a player that may one day understand your system as well as Richard LeCount or J.R. Reed. Okay, he may have it. May one day be able to process information and react and respond and impact plays like those guys did on Saturdays and continue to do on Sundays for the most part. Okay, but has the athletic profile that is beyond even a player like Lewis Cine. Lewis Cine is one of the most athletically gifted human beings on the earth. Malachi Starks is 10% more. He really is. Okay, so by the end of it, Malachi Starks could be this. Now, the other one that is an avatar walking got compared to Trayvon Walker today by a guy that in Nolan Smith I think knows football. Shockers. That's a hot take, right? Got compared to Trayvon Walker today. That's Mykel Williams. Y'all know that one. That was easy. Okay, that was 100% easy. Mykel Williams will be a freshman All-American this year. And I love how Kirby, like at the start, tried to tamp it out, right? Tried to tamp it out. I was like, hey, you don't even know what a difference is what a 5 out, like a 5 technique and a 7 is. Like hold the horses on freshmen playing. You noticed the tone change over the last 4 or 5 pressers. Because, hey, camp opened up and it was like, nah, dog, that's a man over there. That's a man. He's ready to roll. Yeah, he is. So freshman All-American, those two, Malachi Starks and Mykel Williams. Now, let's talk about the offense, right? Told you we're going to go defense, offense, and then we're going to open up the floor for some hot takes, okay? So give me an indication. Let's literally put HOT in the comment to give me your bold prediction, and then I'll kind of grade. I'll give you a temperature grade or maybe an overall grade on your hot take there. So load those up while I finish my last 2 here, and we'll close out with you guys tonight. Georgia's going to score 40 points per game this year. Okay, I already told you they're going to outscore everybody by 30, so they damn near better be scoring 40, right? Again, we told you 4 of those games on the schedule, if they put up 50 points, you're not going to bat an eye. If they put up 50 points in 3 quarters of some of those games, you're not going to bat an eye. Okay, so me sitting here saying, hey, they're going to score 40 points a game this year. That's not a hot take. Last year they scored 38.6. They were a good offense last year, 8th in the country in total points per game, I believe. Maybe top 10 nonetheless. Okay, but if I'd have told 2019 Georgia fan, hey, you're going to score 40 points per game this year, they'd have been like, hell no. Ain't no way, right? When you're averaging, I think, 30 points a game under Coley, it wasn't bad, right? It wasn't bad, but there was a lot of 24-7s, right? A lot of 24-7s against Kentucky's, a lot of 24-7s in the reins against Mizzou's, a lot of 27-10s against Texas A&M, right? There's a lot of football games during that stretch of that early, portion of Kirby Smart's tenure at Georgia where, hey, the moment a quality or even a halfway decent SEC defense walked up in here, it looked like we got the constrictors put on us in the red zone, okay? Rodrigo kicking 28-yard field goals for the life of him. That's kind of what it was. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I was wrong. I don't think I'm wrong right there in saying that, right? Those are facts, and you all know that. That is different now, right? It's 100% different now. So there you go. You're getting loaded up this year, 40 points per game. Get excited for it, okay? Again, you should be jumping for joy for that, all right? Now, last hot take, and this was going to be hotter than any of the ones I'm getting thrown in right here, okay, I believe. Georgia will have 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 pass catchers with 500 yards or more. Again, if you're an Ohio State fan, listen to this, just thank you. Hit the thumbs up, all of you. But if you're an Ohio State fan, hit the thumbs up and don't laugh when I say this because it's big. 4 500-yard pass catchers at Georgia is big. Y'all had 3 damn near 1,000-yard catchers last year at Ohio State. I get it. All right, but at Georgia, this is different. 4 pass catchers going for 500 yards and a quarterback going for 3,500 yards is light years away from where they were 4 years ago in this offense. Okay, so here's how I see it breaking down. Bowers will break the century mark. We are all predicting it. It's all going to happen. I don't think there's a way you can scheme him out. There's too many different weapons that they can use outside to kind of make sure you're not dictating coverage. And even if you are, to where they can threaten you to get out of whatever coverage you're dictating to him. You couldn't do that with Pickens because Pickens was just hanging out there. This is a guy in Bowers. They can move all across the field, right? All across the field. So I do believe that's going to happen. Bowers for 1,000. Ladd McConkey will be the leading receiver this year. I think he's going to be leading receptions and leading yards, not over Bowers, but when we're talking about receiver, Ladd McConkey's going to be your guy. He's going to be your screen guy. He's going to be your open now guy. He's going to be your third down guy. He's going to be your shots out of the slots guy because Arian Smith's now gone, Okay, Ladd McConkey's workload got picked up more than anybody's when Arian Smith went down. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, as did Kyrus Jackson and Don Blaylock's. But neither of those guys are get open now guys. Neither of those guys, maybe CJ Smith, can say, hey, Auburn, play action, go beat that corner like he's sitting still, okay, and run past him. There's only like 2 guys on the roster now that can do that. Ladd McConkey's one of them. His workload went up dramatically. He'll have 650 plus yards this year. AD, 650 plus as well. He's going to play a true X. He's the closest thing since a healthy George, which he hadn't had in a year and a half, okay? Closest thing since then to a true X, and I do believe A-Red Gilbert pushes for 500 yards. Okay, those are the 5, or those are the 4. That's 2,800 yards for those 4 guys. I told you earlier, I'm predicting Stetson over 3,500 yards. That's 700 yards on the table for guys like Kyrus Jackson, guys like Don Blaylock, Darnell Washington, all those guys. There's a whole bunch of yards left on the table for guys like that. And again, I love it. I love the offseason hype. It's every year. But what the heck happened there? I think we got 14, 17 career receptions for Darnell Washington. Y'all probably like, whoa, I'm back. Sorry, my fat hands hit a button over here. Yeah, so like, is his production going to go up this year? Yeah. Is he going to be one of these 500-yard guys? I don't believe so. Don't call me a hater. I talked to an NFL scout. Here, live YouTube nug for you. Talked to an NFL scout the other day about Darnell, and I said, does he have to have 30 catches to be a top 60 pick? Does he have to? And the answer was, hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not. All he's got to do is go keep blocking. That's it. That's all. Like, look, half the NFL, just like I told you earlier in the show, half of college football and half of the high school football ranks are running a 4-2-5 nickel front defense or mint front defense out of nickel. The same thing in the NFL. Half of the NFL is a Kyle Shanahan coaching tree guy. What do they need more than anything? Really versatile tight ends that can win at the point of the attack. Half of the NFL is licking their chops right now for Darnell Washington. If you don't catch a damn ball, all he's got to do is stay healthy. That's it. Okay, so he's not in this mix, but he's going to get love. He's 100% going to get love. All right, let's open the floor to your hot takes. We got till the 45-minute marker for these, so we'll give them real nice and fast for you. All right. Let's see here. Oh, my God. You guys got after it. There's a lot of people here. Hey, like, rate, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. Oh, J2, we'll start with the food. Hot. Crystal's is better than Zaxby's. A, B- take because I love Zaxby's. A, like you get a high rating here. You nailed the short answer portion of the test. You didn't do so well in the multiple choice. You nailed the short answer here because Crystal's is hot. Crystal's is sexy, okay? Crystal's is very, very underrated. But here's the problem. It's stacked up against a dog in Zaxby's. So you missed the multiple choice. I like the short answer. Yes, very, very high. I'll give you a B-. Here we go. Thomas says, also known as the Pope, spoiler alert, hot. This team will fall apart without Jackson Muschamp. A- take. A- take. Good locker room guy. Great locker room guy in Jackson Muschamp. Knows the dogs, loves the dogs, wants nothing but the dogs to be great. Jackson Muschamp. A- take right here. The team probably would fall apart. No cap, as the kids say. All right, here we go. Hot from Rob. Says Kenny McIntosh has over 1,500 all-purpose yards. Bro, that's just way too hot. Okay, way too hot. I think James Cook had just over 1,000 last year. A little too hot for me. I'm going to give it a C just because it's a little too, like, we're talking about hot takes, not crazy ones. I think that borders, like, ventures into crazy. Jay Griff says, UGA doesn't have a single pass catcher over 1K, but has 4 guys go over 750. So you basically took my take and said, in fuego, let's dump some fire on it. I give it a B-. Again, venturing into a little bit much. If 4 guys have 7,500 yards, there's 3,000 yards passing right there. Okay, between 4 guys. So you're telling me you think Stetson Bennett's going to throw for about 3,800 yards, 3,900 yards? Again, a little too spicy for me. Just a little bit too much. Nathan Miss says, hot take. Stetson Bennett plays well enough that it actually quiets the haters. Man, I'm perplexed here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I want you guys to fully embrace your quarterback like you should, if that's good for business, or if it's good for business for you guys to just every week wonder if you're going to get a new starting quarterback. Should I be diabolical? Should I be a little cynical about these things? Or should I just say, hey, it's great for the University of Georgia for the first time since, I don't know, Jake Fromm's third year as a starter, the 1 year where he was the returning starter and there wasn't no drama, okay? It wasn't, oh, he forced somebody else to leave, so we're going to sit here and hate watch him in 2018, right? It wasn't that. 2019 was the only last chill year you had. 2020 was a nightmare. I mean, it was up and down every single week. In my mentions, you guys were filthy. Okay. 2021, even worse. Guy won you a title and you still call him a midget. Like, it's left and right. Left and right. So I don't know what's good for business. Me personally, I hope you're just like, yeah, man, he's good. Matter of fact, if you come see us at the tailgate event Saturday, one of our topics that we're going to talk about is why 13. Okay. I'm going to explain to you why it is. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you why it is. And I hope that you guys walk away and actually appreciate this guy because, man, everybody loves playing for the University of Georgia. Sometimes I question whether or not the quarterbacks do. Honestly, swear to God. Here we go. Chandler Johnson says, Kenny McIntosh has a kickoff return for a tutty. That'd be great. I don't think that's happening in quite a minute. Another take about Stetson Bennett winning the Heisman. We're going to give that a D. I just don't think there's any way possible. CJ Stroud's going to throw for 4,800 yards this year, 4,500 yards. No crap. If you go look at, I think on Prize Picks, his season total right now is like 4,500 yards. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm almost tempted to take the under on all those because, like, hey, one bad day or like one day where you wake up with a tight hammy and you can't play, you ain't throwing for 4,500 yards. You got to throw for like 380 for 14 games to throw for 4,500 yards. Anyways, kind of off topic here. Singletary leads the team in interceptions, says Jeff Hightop. So he's obviously talking about Jaheim Singletary. I'm going to give this again. We're going to give this a low grade. Okay. We're going to give this a low grade because barring garbage time, I think there's a couple of people ahead of him right now on the depth chart, right? You can only play two corners, and he is a corner, right? You know Keely Ringo is going to be one, and you know Kamari Lassiter is going to be one. And I'm telling you, William Poole is going to be one. And I'm telling you, Nyland Green is going to be one. And I'm telling you, Dalen Everett's going to be one. So 4 of those 5 got to go before Singletary gets on the field, or he's got to beat them out. Okay, so that's kind of the hierarchy right now based off kind of my, if you want to tie Dalen Everett and him, either way, to lead the team in interceptions, you're going to have to get on the field a lot. Okay, and I don't know if that's the case this year for Singletary. Definitely will be down the road. He's immensely talented. Here we go. Ooh. B-Red says, hot take, Stetson gets drafted in the 3rd round by the Jets and becomes Stet the Jet. We're going to give this an 89. Like, this is a B+, but it's the highest B+ you can get. You feel me? A B+, an 89 for this reason, Stet the Jet. It's a great name. It's a great name. Absolutely. Have to. Also, 3rd round pick, I don't think that's outlandish. Here's the other thing about Stetson that really kind of bugs me. It doesn't bug me. It bugs me. Dude, he's an arm talent guy. Like, he is a special arm talent. I see so many people. I saw somebody in my mentions today on the blooper video that I tweeted out about him. Hysterical, by the way. You should go retweet it. I saw somebody comment on there today, all these little 7-year-olds in this video got a stronger arm than Stetson Bennett. Bro, shut up. Stop talking. Here's the problem. Yeah, I don't know. TV doesn't do it justice because he is 5'9". I get it. Okay. And no, I haven't seen it in person in quite a while, but I have seen it in person. And I'm telling you, it's different. It's very, very special what he can do and how many different platforms he can do it from. Again, if you don't believe me, patreon.com/Brooks Austin. We will educate you on these things. I wouldn't say he's a 1%er when it comes to the arm talent, right? Being able to throw, like Bryce Young is the prime example of a 1%er with arm talent, 100%. Another example of this, if you've been watching me on Twitter, and I'm going to give him a shout out right now, hoping a college coach is listening right now because I'm calling you out. Jeremy Heklinski from Walton High School is a 1% arm talent guy. These guys that can roll, sit in the pocket. Oh, crap. Here comes Big Cat Bryant in my first career start, blitzing like hell to the left side of my face. I barely see him. Oh, let me just spin out right quick. Spin out, run to my left, reset my shoulders, flick a ball, hit the Dover from Kyrus Jackson on the money, slide out of bounds, 3rd and 10 picked up. Anybody remember that play? I do. It was the world's introduction to Stetson Bennett, right? Y'all remember him at Arkansas. I don't really count that one. That's a guy that just went in and had no real game prep. How could he? They were prepping everybody else all camp. They were prepping Jamie Newman. They were prepping Carson Beck. They were prepping DeJuan Mathis. They give DeJuan Mathis to start. He wets down his leg. They go to Stetson in the middle of the game. What kind of game plan they got? Very, very simple. Go watch it. It's a very simplistic game plan. The next week they come back, first start for a walk-on, and the guy just does woo, 1%er, 1% arm talent guy. So third round draft pick, some people look at that and go, good God, man, no way he's 5'9". I look at it and say, yeah, if he throws for 3,500 yards, and if people actually get a chance to come watch the dude spin it, they'll be like, yeah, maybe he does have some juice, right? Maybe he does have some juice. And the prime example of this, every single time I get to this question about Stetson's draft status, Trace Mcsorley is the name I bring up. Trace Mcsorley was, I think, a fourth-round draft pick. Y'all disrespecting the hell out of a national championship winning quarterback if you telling me he ain't better than Trace Mcsorley. Okay? I know Trace Mcsorley can run. I know he went to Baltimore where Lamar Jackson does a similar style, right? Or they thought he could emulate a similar style. I know he is now a backup in Arizona because of Kyler Murray and the same things. I get it. But the point remains, Stetson, believe it or not, y'all don't believe me, but for some reason, I think you should. I think I know just a tad bit of football, right? Stetson's a very, very talented thrower of the football. He is. Is he Matt Stafford? No. Is he Jake Fromm? Hell no. He's way more gifted talent-wise with the arm than Jake Fromm. In fact, man to man, and I hope this gets back to him because he'll laugh about this, and he might actually admit it. Man to man, I bet Aaron Murray would admit Stetson's got a bigger and more talented and more gifted arm than he had. I would venture to say that. And that'll be my last bold prediction of the night. We'll end it at that. All right. There are a bunch of people on this stream right now, a bunch of comments that we didn't get to. I do want to ask you to do a couple of things before you leave. I want to ask you to hit that thumbs up. Okay. Hit that thumbs up on the YouTube video. Okay. And head over to patreon.com/Brooks Austin and join the Patreon family. Okay. The Film Guy fam is growing by day. Okay. We've got over 30 subs. I'm matching them all. Okay. That's what we're going to do tonight. Okay. I'm going to Twitter right now and I'm giving 30 away immediately right now. So if you're watching and you want to come over, you got the first month for free. All you got to do is get in contact with me. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box right now. And I will also put it in the YouTube description at the end of the video. Okay. So shoot me a message. Say, hey, I want one of them free subs, homie. Okay. Be nice about it. Don't be like, hey, free sub me. You know what I mean? Be nice about it. And we'll see you over there. Okay. We will absolutely see you over there. We will get those subs given away. Okay. The email is brooks7711@gmail.com. Brooks7711@gmail.com. Just like I made it when dadgummit, I did it again. Just like I made that email address like I was 16. Because it did. All right. For the Film Guy Network, for Gramco, for Game Mother Freaking Week. Let's go, baby. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Patreon. We'll see you sometime later in the week for some type of show here. Don't know when it's going to be. Keep the channel on alerts, and you know my sporadic butt will get it to you. We'll see you.